Okay, I think we have audio now, right? Jeez, it looked like I had no audio there for a second. Once again, still a bad microphone, but I think the quality is okay. Let's see if it's popping up on the phone. Still not hearing anything. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can. I think we have audio now, right? Jeez, it looked like I had a. Okay, yeah, you guys can hear me now. Okay, so today we are talking about the physical store that we're planning on opening in Dallas, Texas. With everything else that we've done thus far, uh, there has to be a big level of transparency here. So, when it comes to us opening a real store, which we did, I mean, we had a very small space, which ended up becoming just a storage area. We didn't even really have a what do you call it, a POS stand where you would actually make purchases. So it doesn't really qualify as an LGS. We're torn between the idea of actually having a store and not having a store. And the reason being, having an LGS now comes with a couple of benefits, but it also comes with a lot of negatives. How's it going, Brandon? Yeah, we have the chat very large on the side here so you guys can see customers and what they're thinking. Yep, speak your truth, honestly. So the implications for the online store, I would say lean towards very positive. We would be able to hire more people easily because just working out of a little storage area is not ideal for hiring people. And then as soon as we have four people, I think the goal is to have 4 or 5 people actively working on the online store and the physical store. I think the potentials are endless. To be honest, I think we have a lot of potential there, but it's just hard because I don't see enough support for local game stores by WotC, and I think that's okay to a certain extent. We don't need them to be propping us up, but it becomes hard because one of the reasons why our previous store did not open was that there was an LGS, and there are a ton of local game stores in our vicinity in Dallas, Texas. Tons of local game stores within a drivable distance of each other within 10 minutes, and they do not like new stores opening. And a lot of people, to be honest, have seen Mystery MTG as a big competitor for them, which I find to be weird because we cater to people who actually probably don't go to local game stores that often. And if they do go to local game stores, they're just playing. They're not really buying a bunch of packs for chaos openings and stuff like that. It's just not what people do. And I don't think we've really impacted anyone's business. And if we have, unfortunately, that is the beautiful aspect of living in America, is that we have the right to open a business. It's kind of like taco stands. Speaking of tacos, you see so many of them open right next to each other, and the good ones will survive and the bad ones will die, right? And I think that should be true for local game stores. We've talked about this before, and I've said it before, but there are so many bad stores out there. And a bad store is basically bad leadership. It's someone who maybe had good intentions at the beginning, but they're now just bamboozling people. They're charging. I think David Reynolds, a customer of ours, was talking about his local LGS and how they charge like a 40% premium on a lot of their products. And, if we open the local game store, we're able to give you products at a really good price. And that's what we intend on doing. I think we intend on being right about the level for standard products, and for newer products, we want to be offering those products at cost, maybe a little bit above cost, just to cover whatever fees we have to deal with. So, for example, a box of the new Innistrad set, if we get it for the typical price, would be $85. So you would get it from us at $85, which would be, I think, one of the best prices around. And that would be really cool to be able to offer that. Now, obviously, we would have to be making money somewhere, which is why we do events, which is why we have our premium packs, which is why we have our bigger crates, our Commander's Fury crates. We have places where we can make money while also still offering you a very good deal in other places, which is the entire intention here. Is if you're buying premium packs, there's a risk there. If you're buying Commander's Fury, there's a risk. They're both really cool products, but at the same time, you're not guaranteed to get $130 worth of value for something. Whereas if you buy a standard box and we sell it for an 85, I can guarantee you on TCG Player it's going to be selling for 110 or $105. So that's pretty cool, right? Now, if we do the actual game store, I am very keen on starting it near university so we can get people who have not played Magic the Gathering into the game. That is a big hope of mine. To be completely honest with you guys, I see Magic the Gathering as slowly declining right now, which I don't know if that's true or not. It's just from my perspective, from when I'm walking into these local game stores, a lot of the owners have become kind of negative towards WotC in general, and I can see a lot of the reasoning as to why that's the case. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, I love the game and I want the game to be growing. And, we've done that on a local level. We've gotten new players into the game. And I want that to be a continuous thing. So if we start an LGS, we want to have game nights where we invite students from the local university to come in and play with us and play EDH and give them free decks. That's a big thing. I want to give newer players free 100-card decks to start playing automatically. Whether that's us giving away precons or if that's us just building budget commander decks. I think that would just be sick. I think it would be an amazing thing to do to get people into the game, especially if we're near a local university. So that's kind of the plan right now. Brittany says, wish I lived closer. It'd be awesome to visit when it opens. I know. Oh, seriously. I mean, a lot of our customers do not live in Texas, which is unfortunate. But the cool thing is that we will be live streaming almost everything that happens within the local game store. And you guys can see it live. I also want to, if that happens, have Twitch drops where if you're sitting and watching the stream, you can literally just randomly be given a free booster pack from a set, and you can redeem that on the site with your next order. So if you're just watching the stream and suddenly you get a Guilds of Ravnica or any set, and then you're able to just redeem it and get it with your next order, I think that would be really cool. So the timeline for this is always shaky. To be totally honest, we could open a store next week, and I think it would really anger a few people. A lot of store owners for stores that have been in the area that I've gone to personally for over a decade are not happy with anyone else coming. And this happened to a different local game store owner who I met and I talked to. Wasn't a huge fan of his store just because I thought it wasn't really what I had envisioned, what I would want for a store. But his target audience wasn't Magic the Gathering. It's not really what we want to do. So I just remember our conversation about how negative a lot of the store owners in Texas were towards any new competition, towards anyone who even, like I tried to tell them that we weren't going to be hosting events. And now that they, a lot of these guys just are they've been in the game for 20 years. They've been here for a long time, so I get it. They don't want competition. They don't want people hosting events that might take away their customers. But without competition, where does Magic the Gathering go? I think that's the issue. Where do we progress from here? So I think we plan on hosting very big competitions. We're planning on hosting big events and potentially even offering food and drink and everything at the local game store. Now, for the actual online store, which is obviously the biggest focus and will continue to be the biggest focus, I really do think this is a very positive thing. It'll help us pack stuff, and it will help us just in general get more people on board to just expand. Whether or not we want to do Pokemon crates, whether or not we want to do Yu-Gi-Oh crates, I think that would be very interesting. Flesh and Blood. I don't play those games. That's the issue, right? If I'm the person who's running Mystery MTG and I don't play a game, I can't design a product around it. However, we have a huge Pokemon community right next to us, and I'm really close friends with a lot of those guys. And if Pokemon is something that people want to see a monthly crate for, or if people just want to see events that also have Pokemon packs, we have a bunch of older Pokemon product. We have first edition Pokemon boxes. We have probably over 6 figures worth of Pokemon product sitting and doing nothing right now. And that's because we don't play Pokemon. I don't know how I would get these packs out besides just selling them, which I don't want to do. We never want to do that. We don't want to just send out boxes. But, we have to have people who are knowledgeable about the product, who are knowledgeable about what a monthly crate would look like, what the balance is between older and newer sets. That's the biggest thing. So that's kind of my purpose with starting this online store, is that we're able to expand into so much stuff. Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering. So Mystery MTG will hopefully become Mystery TCG. MysteryTCG.com sounds pretty cool in my opinion. And if we can do that, I think it would just be very fun. I think it would be very, very fun. So we're going to see. Capital isn't really an issue. I think the issue is not stepping on people's toes. And we are close to a lot of people who work at WotC. We're close to a lot of content creators. Well, not a lot, but some of you have seen Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming, on the channel. He's dropped in. That guy is an inspiration, I think, as to what a content creator for Magic should be. Now, he's controversial. Some people like Joey Moss, some people don't like Joey Moss, but I would say that we look at him as a someone who I would personally love to sponsor and just see him open a bunch of packs. I think the bad thing is that with our policy, whenever we send packs out, and this is true for the store as well, if content creators were to come in the store and want to open packs or play or whatever, we have a policy where content creators are treated no differently than regular customers. If you, for example, are a content creator and you buy packs from us, you go through the exact same randomizer, but that can be pretty negative. You've seen this on some of the biggest Magic the Gathering channels. Andy, for example, we sent him a 9-pack, and he got 9-pack premium packs, and he got some pretty good packs. He got more than what the value of it was, but the openings weren't great. His pools were subpar, I would say. And then we had MTG Unpacked, who opened, I think, a 6-pack premium and literally pulled a Scalding Tarn and another $40 card, and he blasted away, tripling his value. And that can happen occasionally, but with influencers, it's if they pull too well, people think we reseal the packs. If they pull terribly, people think we reseal the packs. And it's like, I understand it though. That's one of the reasons why we started this company, is because so many Magic the Gathering companies out there, or people, or entities, whatever you would like to call them, were resealing, weighing packs of really crappy sets too, to be honest. And I don't know why you would ever do that, but even Return to Ravnica was getting tampered with. So, obviously, it's one of the reasons we started this. So if we start a store, it's going to be the same thing. Everyone is on the same level. We will obviously have big benefits for anyone who is a Mystery MTG subscriber. This month we plan on running multiple promotions for anyone who's an active subscriber. Art Walker, who I've talked to on Discord and got his permission to talk about this, won a Mana Crypt from us, and we will make a post about that. 9 other people besides him are getting singles and packs worth a bunch of money because they are the longest active subscribers that we have. Some of them ranging all the way back to last year of May of 2020. And that's pretty interesting to me. That's pretty cool in my opinion, that we have such long-term customers. The longer you subscribe, you'll get a big benefit from that. Let's just think about it. Art Walker subscribed for that long. Who knows what he pulled? Who knows what he got in terms of sets? But now he's been given a Mana Crypt worth $120. So, irregardless of any shitty packs he's opened, this Mana Crypt basically makes the entire journey very, very, very worth it, even if he was already in a profit. Stanley says, love to see promotions. The problem with promotions is you can't do too much. You can't do too many promotions. If you're doing too many promotions, 1, you're throwing away product. And 2, you could bankrupt yourself. And we've seen this with real publicly traded companies. Giving away a bunch of stuff for free, running a bunch of promotions can be a very negative thing. And we did that for a while, and we had to stop because, at some point, you get confused. This person got what for free? This person got this for free. This person got this. This person needed this. This person had this discount, but this happened. And then it's a cluster. It's just a huge cluster, and it's very confusing, and ultimately it's not worth it. I would rather just have a good service that provides packages quickly and with very good quality. And, to this day, we have not had a single pack opening ever called out. We've never had anyone say that a pack was resealed, weighed, tampered with in any way. And people check. People look at our packs extra carefully. And I'm happy about that. You can see that when we make posts on Facebook, you'll notice that every single time you see the post, it's just sealed boxes, right? And that's where they're cracked from. Stanley says, I agree. It gets to be a lot of you guys, but I'm going to be purchasing from you guys either way. We love you, Stanley, the Black Knight. Stanley, once again, rolling epically in the last Spice Arena, and you will be rewarded for that, Stanley. You've also revived 2 people during that, so it was actually pretty fun. And that's another thing, the Spice Arena. I would love to have it live, almost. Can you imagine a live Spice Arena? That would be freaking epic. I just think, in terms of Magic the Gathering currently, it's sad that we've not really seen innovation. in a lot of ways. What do we hear? What do we see? A lot of what we're hearing and seeing is new deck boxes, new sets, uh, a bunch of random pack openings on Facebook Live, and just things that, it's kind of a turnoff. Where's the fun of it? Where's the storytelling? Where's the set reviews that used to happen? We just don't see it anymore. We don't see it at all. And, I think we have to change that. I was really interested in hiring someone to handle, making videos for us, someone who's interesting, someone who's entertaining, someone who's willing to go out there and be energetic. And that would be, awesome. I think people would love that. Set reviews. I want to be able to do stuff where we look back on a set. We open the packs. We go through the art. We talk about the set. We might even have Gavin Verhey. I have Gavin Verhey on Facebook. I would love to get him on a live stream and we just talk about cards, talk about sets. I'm not the most knowledgeable. When it comes to me, by the way, I founded the company, but I founded it with a guy named Justin who really plays the game at a high level. And Justin will read every part of a card and take the rules very seriously. And he'll also analyze the card in terms of playability as soon as he cracks it. For me personally, because I'm a collector, I would say I'm a collector rather than a competitive Magic player, because I've never been a competitive Magic player besides playing Modern for a while. I did enjoy Modern. I won a couple of tournaments, but not very many, by the way. I came in last quite a few times with the Burn. I was playing Burn all the time. Well, not last, but, not even top 3. But, Justin would view products in a different way than me, and when we would crack packs for fun, there would be a huge difference there in reaction to certain cards. For example, I would be very excited to see a Mana Crypt, because I know a Mana Crypt is an expensive card. It's a very cool card. It's a zero-cost card. But a lot of people who play competitively or run a bunch of decks might not be as excited about a Mana Crypt because, hey, within my play group or whatever, this card isn't very playable. It's the same as the Jeweled Lotus for a lot of competitive players. It's kind of interesting, but it's not a staple, whereas Tymna and Thrasios, those cards are very exciting for a lot of competitive players. They can run decks around it. They can run CEDH decks around it. A lot of Modern players love to see stuff like Chalice of the Void. Some people might even say, I need a Chalice of the Void. I'd prefer that over a more expensive card. So there's a difference. For me, it's anything that's expensive is very interesting. Anything that looks cool, anything extended art. I'm not a big fan of them throwing extended art into everything now. I think that's kind of lame. It's made it less interesting for me. But when we run the store, one big key thing for us is the ability for people to buy, sell, and trade within the store. Now, that's a big money loss thing for us, but the way we're going to do it is going to be epic, and I think it's going to be really cool. You have to be verified to buy or sell. Verified means, 1, your ID is checked and logged. 2, your collection is analyzed by us before you're able to sell it. And 3, you leave a binder in the store and it's accessible by anyone, and you have your own mini store within our store. And you get paid in credit or cash or whatever whenever someone buys your single. This is something that we actually saw done in South Korea for a while by an LGS there, and their system worked very well. Now, you have to be very careful about that, and the area has to be covered with CCTV, because people can steal cards, people can do whatever they want to do. There are a bunch of bad people out there. But we want people to have their own store within our store. If you want to sell your cards and get credit and buy more cards or do whatever you want to do, and there's cards that you're not using and you just want to leave it in the binder somewhere where people are actively checking for cards, that's what we want to do. We want to have a little area there covered by a camera, and then probably have an employee actually watching people as they do this. Because in Korea, I'm pretty sure some people, a lot of them are very trustworthy, but I'm sure, no one would watch you. So you'd be looking through a binder and no one would be actively watching you. So you never know. Someone might have stolen a card. But, you take that risk. You're never going to leave a Jace the Mind Sculptor in that binder. You know what I mean? You might leave a couple of Soul Rings. You might leave a foil Lightning Greaves, like a $9 card. And that's what we want to do. A bunch of mini stores within our store. You have a binder, people can trade, sell through your binder, and that's it. We don't take a fee. You get paid in credit, TCG Mid or TCG Market, whatever's agreed upon. If you're in the store and they're doing this, you guys agree on whatever terms you want, if you want to trade or anything like that. And it would have to be covered with CCTV, so people would be I mean, we would be actively watching this area like a hawk, by the way. If there are cards that people own and they're in our store, I might even have an employee that's part of his job is to watch this part of the store. And, security is going to be a big aspect of this where your ID is going to be logged. If you want to buy, trade, or sell through that little area, which would be the stores within our store, like a mini TCG player almost, you have to have your ID verified. We have to know you. If you just walk into the store and you say, I want to buy this from this binder, it's going to be a no because you're not a verified person. Now, the cool thing I think is going to be if you're a Mystery MTG subscriber and you have premium packs, or what city you think for your store? Dallas, Texas is where our store. I should probably put that on that image. But it's going to be in Dallas, Texas. I'm a sucker for pimping up my decks. I hate full art foils. John, I'm the same way, but it's less fun if everything is foil, especially because the foils now are not as good of quality as they used to be. Times Power Remastered being the big exception there. That was an amazing set for foils. In any case, I think the interesting thing is going to be that, once the store is open, how well, and we have people that we have lined up, very trustworthy individuals. A lot of these people were in the military. A lot of these people worked in the medical field previously. A lot of these people don't even really play Magic that much. They understand it. They've played it before. And that's what we're looking for. If someone is heavy into playing Magic and they see a Power 9 card, it is going to take every bone in their body to not try to steal that card. Because, and I hate to say this because this is a psychological thing, but when people see an expensive card that you have never seen before, a lot of people have never seen a Black Lotus in person. Even the cheapest version, which would be the International Edition. But a lot of people haven't seen it in person before. If they see it and they have access to it, a lot of people might really feel tempted to grab it and try to stuff it in their pocket. And that's the scary thing about TCG, is that these cards are worth so much, but they're so easy to steal. And we have to be very careful about that. So security is going to be a big thing at the store. We don't want it to be very crowded, but we want events to be awesome. So, Japanese style, I think everything will be in cases that we have to unlock, you know what I mean? And not just openly available. You can't just touch everything. Sealed is going to be a really big thing. You can buy premium packs live. You can open them live in the store. We'll have it packaged in mini boxes that you can, pick up and just crack open and see what you get live in the store. Talk about transparency, right? So you can also see us opening the boxes and filling up the premium packs and the randomizer. You can actually see all of this in person. But we have to be careful because some people might, try to see which box is which and blah, blah, blah. So, there has to be limitations there. But just the whole live aspect of it, everything being live, having coffee and just sitting down and talk. I want it to be such a social place. And that's the big thing. How can you, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't rushed in terms of opening it. How can you bring back the gathering part of Magic? That's the big thing. How can you bring back people sitting there talking to each other? Every time I go to an LGS, it's just a bunch of people playing games. Some makeshift games will happen, but people don't talk about life. And that's so sad to me because the best part of Magic the Gathering for me back in university was talking about school, talking about girls, talking about our dogs, talking about literally everything. Oh, I got so wasted last night. Oh, what'd you drink? I drank this stout, blah, blah, blah. And we would just talk and play Magic, and that was such a beautiful part of it. And you just don't see that now. I walk into any LGS, and it's very hard for me to see. Now, this is probably different in the north, but in the south, in Texas and Georgia and stuff like that, it's kind of like that. A lot of people just don't come to the LGS to talk. They come to the LGS to play, or maybe they have their own groups. And we want it to be a place where you're able to meet new people, new friends. So being next to a university is a big thing there. That is a big aspect of it. And money is going to have to be a thing when it comes to that, because if we have a very high-end location in terms of actual location, it's going to be expensive. So selling drinks is going to be a thing, maybe even food at like a hot dog or something, something that you don't have to get your hands greasy with. It's something that we're going to have to work on. But if food is going to be a thing, it has to be a thing near university. People are obviously wanting coffee and stuff like that. I'm excited to make this happen, but like I said, we need to get everything straightened out. We need to know what people want to see. We need to know what people don't want to see. We need to know how we want to design the LGS. A lot of local game stores that I see, some of them just have bad design. Some of them have an amazing design. The TCG Player LGS, and they have like a cafe slash bar, is so freaking impressive. It's insane. It's insane. I don't know if it's TCG Player or Channel Fireball. One of them has a big cafe slash LGS. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it is so impressive and cool. And it's like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. And they have sealed product everywhere, and it's huge and it's vast, and it's, size doesn't really make things better. That's what she said. But, to a certain extent, having that much air around you and just, it feels better. It feels more open, more free, rather than some local game stores that are so small. It's like a little basement, which also has a benefit, by the way. If it's a basement, I've been to an LGS like that, and it's very cozy, I would say. But especially with COVID, you want open air. So we'll see, I'm excited to see where it goes. Building it is not going to take a long time. That's the thing. Actually designing it will take maybe 2 weeks. Sounds crazy, right? But actually designing it will take 2 weeks. It'll be a continuous process. But, like designing a bar, I've done DIY stuff before, and we've literally built a cafe just for fun. And, we learned a lot, building the foundation and everything. I think it would be something that we could do for the LGS. The thing is, I don't think we're going to have an insane amount of space. I think if we have events, we're going to have to rent out a different location if we want, over 100 people or something. So we'll see. I would love to give you guys a look at what I think it should look like, but we're not at that point yet. So once we do get at that point, I will, showcase that to you guys. If you have any questions in the chat, let me know. This is an active process. We're actively finding a location with an agent. We're actively trying to make sure that we're not stepping on any toes here when it comes to us starting this. A lot of people are going to get angry that we have a physical store. It might pose a threat to some people, and at this point, I'm sorry to say it, and I'm still trying not to step on toes, but if you are that scared of us starting a business and it is that intimidating, you probably should not have a store anymore, because that means you're not doing the right stuff for your customers, right? Do right by your customers, and they'll never leave you, ever. They might buy stuff from different stores sometimes, but as long as you're doing them right, you're giving them fair prices, you've been a good place for them to play games, they will never leave you. If you are overcharging on your product, if you are actively being incredibly greedy, if you're not treating your customers right, it is totally up to them to leave you. Are you guys still looking to do the same design you talked about a few months ago? It was the Dwarven type tavern thing, if I remember it. That is correct, Stanley. I know I've been hated on for saying, well, not hated on, but people have disagreed with me on this, but I would like for people when they enter the LGS, because it will be hopefully a little bit darker. Now, this is hard because I want people to still be able to see their cards, but I want people to put on capes to cover their actual clothing. Like basically Lord of the Rings, right? You walk into the tavern and there's a bunch of men who are mercenaries and assassins covered in black capes. I would love that to be the same. Because it's cool. Now, this poses a security concern because you can do stuff with a cape on. So we'll see. It might be something that we only do for events. There might be a specific day of the week where we do that, and we have to put away things that people might be able to stuff into their pockets or whatever. But I just think that would be so cool. It's something that we haven't seen. I think it's something that we want to see. People have not really had a good old, mystical tavern-esque LGS. I don't think that's a thing yet. And that would be awesome to start. It would be awesome for us to be the first ones to start that. So, yeah. Yeah, once again, though, the security concern of that is quite the issue. That is quite the issue. Just TCGs in general, trying to make sure people don't steal stuff is a constant battle. It is a constant battle. And we're always worried about that, because stealing one pack of Onslaught is enough to really piss me off. We've had people try to do that before with chargebacks and stuff, but we can fight that. We can go to court. We can do whatever we want to do to make sure that we get justice for that and punish those who are doing the wrong things. And we've done that. And luckily, to be totally honest with you guys, we had that. I haven't even talked about this, actually. I just reminded myself. We had that guy we were going to take to court who stole a bunch of product from us, and he was actually a prosecutor. That was his job. And we went through and we actually won back our funds, over $1,000 from him that he attempted to steal. Actually, $1,250. He attempted to steal a product and take the cash, and we won. He got to keep the product, but we got the money back, and that is totally okay with me. That was how the original transaction should have went. And we were able to fight it. We got it back, and there's only one guy, and I will name him, Timothy Kinsey, who scammed us in a very smart way. Very smart way. He ordered the product to a location that was not his billing address, and we weren't able to catch it in time. And then his friend picked up the package for him, signed his name for it, and then he told us that he didn't get his package, and he charged it back. And obviously, to PayPal, if the location, it doesn't matter as long as he didn't get the product, right? And he was smart, and because of that, he's banned. And we have his location on file. We have everyone who's in his vicinity on file. And anyone who orders from us in that area probably will have their orders rejected, besides one person who's a long-time customer. But if anyone scams you, and this will happen, if you decide to open a store, if you decide to have an online store, whatever you want to do, if anyone scams you, you better take them as far as you can get. I don't care if you have to drive up to their house and say, hey, where's my package? Hey, where's my packs? Hey, where's my singles? Get your cards back, get your packs back, because screw those people, screw those scammers. If we open the store and a person, and all of you, anyone who comes to the store will be filmed. We will have your face on file. Every single person. I'll probably have a camera directed on the door. And with masks, it's a little bit different, but we may even mandate at some point, if vaccinations have finally rolled out enough to where this is possible, you can wear a mask, but you have to take it off at the door and show us your face. And if you steal, if you do anything negative, if you fight someone at the LGS, if you do something bad, we will have a blacklist with your name and your photo in the store and online. This list that we have currently, this blacklist, is shared with every major LGS that we connect with, and that ranges from pretty much all the biggest stores that you're buying from on TCG Player. We have a list of people that are actively scamming people, or who have attempted to scam, who have been negative actors, and we share that with other local game store owners. So if you are doing negative stuff, just know that it's not a union, but people are coming closer together now, and we are actively blocking, and we've done this. We've blocked purchases from people who are considered scammers or fraudulent, and we will cancel that order every time. If it's on the list, if it's something that shows up on Shopify or whatever, you will have your order canceled. And if you come to the store and your name matches any of that, and hopefully we can design a system where a name is run through our database and we can see if they ever had a chargeback, if they ever had something negative, and then we're able to cancel that order in person and say, get out of the store. If you're one of those people, you gotta be kicked out. You just gotta be kicked out. How's it going, John? We're just talking about the store. We're talking about policies that we want to have in place. So basically, just to recap, we do want to have a tavern-style local game store. We want to have events where people are in hoods, people are in costumes. It's a D&D night, something like that. D&D Magic night where you're playing Magic, but you're dressed up, you're in character. We want to have drinks, we want to have food, we want to have this location right next to a university. We want really good security, and that just means a lot of cameras, make sure that we know everyone who's in the store. And we want to have, I think the coolest part is a little store where you're able to buy from players directly, where they can have their binders. That's their little store. They have it in a secure area. We have someone watching that area, and people will actively buy, sell, and trade. And we can verify stuff in real time. If someone's trying to sell you an expensive card and you don't know if it's real, you can hand it over to us, and we have experts who can, tell within a matter of seconds almost if a card is real or fake. Now, this is depending on the level of the counterfeit, right? If the counterfeit is insanely good, if the quality is insane, it's really hard to tell. but we have we have guys who are so good at telling if a pack has been resealed. They can literally tell you within 2 seconds of them holding the pack or uh, messing around with the glue on the back of it. You can just tell there's a different consistency. When opening the pack, you will feel a difference. So, we want to be able to verify stuff for people in real time. And we want to also sell stuff that, is not Magic the Gathering. Like I said, if we can do a Pokemon crate, if we can do a Yu-Gi-Oh crate, whatever we want to do and we can do, we will do, right? And as long as people are interested in it, Flesh and Blood would be a very interesting one for first edition boxes and for unlimited print boxes. That would be very cool. Magic, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I am not a big fan of the Universes Beyond stuff. Fortnite and Magic does not sound good at all to me. But I'm not going to argue anymore because it's a losing battle. You can't win. You just can't win with WotC in regards to that. There's nothing that we can do. This has already been slated. They've already been in connection with Epic, who produces Fortnite. And this is already happening. And a lot of us older players are not a big fan of that. I would rather see Jace. I would rather see Teferi. I would rather see anyone else besides a Fortnite character while I'm playing the game. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. We can't keep the game as we had wanted it to be. I wish it was just online. I wish it was just MTG Arena where they had that stuff, because the paper game just gets ruined with that. I don't know. Is it just me, or does the game feel different whenever all of that stuff happens? When they're bringing in Fortnite and they're bringing in all of these different IPs, it just feels different. It feels like I don't respect the game as much in paper, And that's why I think formats like Vintage and Legacy are cool. And I would rather play that, honestly, than EDH at this point, because EDH has become the cash cow. WotC didn't respect it in the beginning, and when they started to respect it, the only reason they respected it as a format is because it became a very cashable format. It became something that they could milk, and that's what they've been doing. And like I said, I love Gavin Verhey. I watch his streams all the time. He's a very cool guy, but they just they think that they're okay with it. I'm just glad they're keeping most of it contained to Secret Lairs, with the exception of Lord of the Rings, which I'm not mad at. Yeah, Brittany, the Lord of the Rings set, I think Morrow actually did say that none of it was going to be legal in standard, which is pretty big. Anything Universes Beyond basically is going to be targeted towards EDH players. And, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of like saying, also modern to a certain extent, but it's kind of like saying they don't respect the format, which is how I feel about it. WotC didn't come up with EDH. It wasn't a WotC designed format. Gavin Verhey, I think, is the father of modern, if I'm not mistaken. So that's different. But, to just say that we're attempting to squeeze out every dollar from... And the whole Fortnite IP thing might just be to get new players in, which is understandable to a certain extent, but I don't know. Like, I saw the Phyrexian Secret Lair, and that was an instant buy for me. We bought probably whatever 60 times 39 is. We bought that much, like $1,800 worth of the Phyrexian Secret Lairs. I was so happy about that. And I hope that the financial success of the Phyrexian Secret Lair tells them that that's what people want to see. They want to see Phyrexian script cards. They want to see old border cards that are done right. They want to see... even Neon Kamigawa would have been a really cool Secret Lair rather than... And I think they are doing a Secret Lair for it. But rather than an entire set... I will buy, okay, I'm still going to be buying the new Kamigawa set for sure. And I think that's going to be the perfect reprint target for you-know-what. I'm not even going to say it. But, there's a lot of really good reprints there that could happen. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. But at the same time, Secret Lair is coming out like crazy. And all of these big bundles and this. And you could get a fetch land with your Secret Lair and blah, blah, blah. It's okay. So we can see where they're cashing in on stuff, which is a little bit too much. Thoughts on D&D Commander? I mean, to be totally honest with you, John, I think that the D&D set was very underwhelming, which is, probably the quickest depreciation on any Magic the set or Magic the Gathering set that we've seen in a long time. A lot of people just don't want to roll dice for things continuously because it's fun in the beginning, but then it's like, okay, well, I would have rather have just had this as a rollable thing and then have some ability on this card that I can take benefit from. But all of it's like, okay, if you get a bad roll, the card's just useless. So you're adding RNG onto RNG because you have the RNG of having to pull the card, then having to have the mana for it. And then once you play it and you get a bad roll, and it's like, not a big fan of it. I think they messed up on the set quite a bit, actually. I think having D&D flavor without all of the dice rolling would have been much better. If we take a look at TCG Player, I can actually pull it up now. If we look at TCG Player, and we go to the Forgotten Realms, if we go to the set booster display, it is selling for around $99, so actually not as bad. But on the secondary market, you can get it for like $80, to be honest. People are not happy about the product. If we go to the collector's box, which I think is the best place for you to see how a set is doing, the collector box is selling for $180. This is the cheapest you have ever seen a collector's box, with the exception being maybe Theros Beyond Death for a while. Theros Beyond Death, if we go to the collector booster pack display, is now going for $230. So that's a big change in where it was at. I agree with that. I only did the pre-release and I really avoided a lot of the D&D mechanics added. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't what people wanted to see. It just was not what people wanted to see. And I can totally understand that. So, I mean, they thought the IP would be very collectible within itself. And I think it just wasn't. I think a lot of D&D players are not screaming and kicking for D&D stuff. They're not trying to collect Magic cards that they're not playing. How do you think Zendikar Rising collectors will age? If they had not reprinted fetch lands, because we can actually check this. If they had not reprinted fetch lands, I would have been way more positive on it, but you can see that the collector box is still hovering around $230-ish a box. Around $230, the bid is $249, so $250. And that's because you can get the foil, and these still have pretty good premiums, the foil Misty Rainforest expeditions and stuff like that. I don't think we'll see another Fetchland reprint for a while, but Zendikar Rising is a set, in my opinion. If we go, let's actually check this. I'm actually curious. Zendikar Rising, and we go to Market High to Low, and we look at the card. So Cavern of Souls is around $100 for the regular, not for the foil. For the foil version, it's around $187. Then you see the Polluted Delta, the Bloodstained Mire, the Misty Rainforest. So all of the fetch lands as expeditions are the most expensive cards. Pretty much all of the expeditions are the most expensive cards. But you can also see that if we get into the mythics and rares, Academ's Awakening is a $20 card. Seagate Restoration, the extended art, is still around a $15 to $16 card. Omnath is around $11. That's not even the showcase. The showcase is around $13. So there's value in the set. That's a pretty important part of it. Kaldheim Collectors, John, I got a bunch of Kaldheim Collectors for like, how much is Kaldheim Collectors right now? But the thing, John, that's a good point. Kaldheim Collectors are actually a good buy though. All of those pathways are like $11 to $12 each. Not even, if it's the foil version, it's literally a $20 card. So, I don't think, oh yeah, you're right. Kaldheim Collectors is $179. It's hovering around $170 a box. The mid is $230 though. So, but if you were to look at Kaldheim, it's really not that bad in terms of pricing for singles. Market High to Low, you can still get Vorinclex. The big thing that happened was the Secret Lair, okay? The Secret Lair, I think 2 times reprinted Vorinclex, and because of that, Vorinclex has dropped down to like a $30 card in Phyrexian script, which is pretty insane actually. That is pretty insane. Goldspan Dragon's still a $50 card, so that is not bad at all. So 4 on collects, Goldspan Dragon, both mythics. But Koma, Cosmo Serpent, another mythic, Valky God of Lies, both of these around the $20 range. So there's value there. I'm trying to look for any rares. Oh, Toski. Yeah, Toski would be a really good hit, around 16 bucks. Void Winnower. That's in the promo pack, actually. 1,000-Year Storm, another promo pack edition. Kaldheim, Halvar, God of Battle, is around 10 bucks. And then Alrund's Epiphany is another good card, around $8-ish. But then the really cool part is you look at the pathways. Darkboar Pathway, foil is like $15-16. Regular version is like $8. And then we have, the Darkboar Pathway being the most expensive. But all of the other ones, the Blightstep Pathway, the World Tree, Faceless Haven has been going up in value. It's a very good card. Hinnegate Pathway around $6. So there's a bunch of, there's value there. Now it is in the rare. It is a rare, so it'd be a little bit different. Coma's Quill token is around $6. Bard Channel Pathway Borderless is $5. Foil is $10. So there is value. There's value. You'll recoup at least, a pretty decent chunk of what you're paying. I made sure to get a couple of collector cases. I personally like the art and showcase style. The problem is, John, I would say a lot of people like to hype up collector boxes, and this is a big, thing to keep in mind. A lot of people hype up collector boxes, but in reality, while collector boxes are single print, I'm saying single print with, the little bunny ears, while they are secret print, or single print, they are dropped to Amazon continuously. They are fed back. So there's a huge supply that doesn't hit the market right away. So while it's supposed to be single print, it's not in actuality. There are multiple runs of this coming through to Amazon and whatever other big retailer they have. And because of that, and this is what stopped Modern Horizons and what stopped a lot of other sets from going up in value, is that you could get it for so cheap on Amazon. They would have these days where they would cut the price in half. Jumpstart, for example. Jumpstart went down in price because Amazon got a bunch of it and was starting to sell it for $120 a box. So everyone who had bought it at $200-something, $300 a box got royally screwed, 1/3 of the value of what they had paid. And that's what happens with Amazon. So I really like the Norse mythology theme. I did too. I think they did it right. I think the set is good. I think it's just not really in the meta currently. It's just not really in the meta. So, we'll finish this off by saying when the store is open, you guys can pre-order through us if you want to. We will limit premiums as much as we can so that, standard sets you can get for $85 to $90 a box, so cheaper than any other LGS in our area. Premium sets like Modern Horizons 2 or collector boxes, we aim to try to get to you guys for $190 a box or $185 a box, which is once again cheaper than what you can find it pretty much anywhere else. Now, this will really depend on the success of the other avenues of revenue that we attempt to go down. If things are lacking, then, we'll do what we have to do. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll work great. We're going to open this store. We're going to see how it works out. And let's hope it works out for the best. I think that's where we're at. It could be open for just a year. It could be open for 10 years. It could be open for 6 months. It could be open for 1 month and we decide this is not going to work. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work, we have a storage area, which is pretty cool. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for joining in, John. Brittany, plan on doing yearly events. I'm an East Coast player and would love to pop up. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, we're going to have huge events at least 2 to 3 times a year, actually. Our own versions of what a GP should look like. So big prize pools will be a thing. If people want to fly in and play, we have to make it worth it. The plane ticket has to be covered in terms of prize pool. It has to be, $2 to $3 grand at minimum for first place is what we're aiming for. And that's why we are trying to save money now for prize pools. That's a big thing. And we'll see how far we get with that, right? I think having a prize pool of $500 is not interesting because it's not an incentive to come from everywhere, If we can get the prize pool up very high for some of the bigger events, 10 grand would be a very, very good goal for us for first place prize. And if we want to do a league where the end of the league, the top 3 players will get 10 grand, 3 grand, and 1 grand, I think that would be really cool. So 15 grand total, or 14 grand total, sorry. And then we'll see how that works. We'll see how people like it. If it creates waves, if people are very receptive to the bigger prize pools and very competitive, and we'll have to have judges who are ready to go for every single event, and hopefully we can do that. And then that'll be it. People might come from New York, people might come from Chicago, people might come from Seattle and come play here, and people haven't really had that incentive for a while. A lot of bigger local game stores like Madness have closed, or not closed, sorry, but their Magic the Gathering section has closed. So hopefully we revive that a little bit. In any case, guys, we're going to end it here. Some very good conversations. Glad I could explain it to you guys a little bit, what we're looking for. Thank you for your input. Nice little conversation on different sets. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to open it. And I don't think we're going to call it Mystery MTG, but it will be called Mystery Cards and Board Games, maybe. Something like that. We'll figure it out. In any case, guys, I'm going to go take a nap. I am tired. I hope you take a nap as well. Enjoy your Sunday. And I will see you on Friday for the next Mystery MTG Spice Arena. The last one went very well. And I think the next one will go incredibly well as well. We'll write a good story and put people into it. And hopefully they enjoy it. We might even do it Norse mythology theme for the next. That would actually be pretty cool. We might actually do that. So buy your tickets. That is coming up on Friday. So I will see you guys on Friday. I'll be there. Hopefully you're there as well. And have a good day.